Hey Internet, I'm Chris, and this is a place on the internet where I talk about comics, movies, games, and things I'm generally passionate about. So this month, the Penguin series comes out. Set in Matt Reeves' The Batman universe, the Penguin follows the Penguin, played by Colin Farrell. It's supposed to be a deep dive into Gotham post the Batman after the Riddler blew up the dams, flooded the city, and now there is a void in the criminal underworld, and we'll see old Cobblepot's rise to criminal infamy. I think they're going with calling the Batman universe, the Matt Reeves Batman universe, the epic crime saga of the Batman or something like that. It's a little much. It's a mouthful. I can't remember it, and I thought it was too dumb to write down. So we're gonna go with that. The first film was great. It was a great experience to see in movie theaters. It combined a lot of great stories. Long Halloween had little things of Hush and Court of Owls. Also, Zero Year by Scott Snyder introduced sort of a new, scary, and interesting take on the Riddler. And it got people excited about DC movies. It was a hit at the box office critically, and something that DC and Warner Brothers needed. Now, with all the stuff they got going on, sometimes, hey, they somehow make things happen. And as the press is heating up for the Penguin series, Matt Reeves is doing promoting it. He's got a lot of Batman stuff this summer. You have the Batman Crusader series, which is also a critical hit. That was from him, J.J. Abrams, and Bruce Timm. And now you have the Penguin series, which looks like it's shaping up to be something interesting and unique and an expansion on that world of the Batman. And as he was doing some interviews, he had an interview at SFX, and he was talking about sort of what the work on the Batman 2 would look like. And with the Batman 2, I think most people kind of assumed with the threads that were kind of planted in, or the seeds that were planted in the first film, you had the Joker be there, you had sort of Easter eggs suggesting that there would Tommy Elliott, Hush is in this universe. And because of the sort of deeper and darker side of Gotham, you just have to assume the Court of Owls is lurking in the shadows somewhere. And as he's been talking about it, he's had some great quotes about how the new series, I mean, the new movie, will be diving into sort of keep the focus on Batman, where he has stated that in previous Batman franchises, they've taken the first film to be a focus on Batman and the subsequent films to be a focus on the villains, whether it be the Joker, the Riddler, Bane, what have you. But he really wants this saga to be a focus on Batman the character, and that they will tackle maybe on the edge of the fantastical. He used Gentleman Ghost, or it was asked what a character like the Gentleman Ghost would look like in his Batman universe, and he kind of talked about how this series it's fun to kind of play around with those characters and see what they can do and make them grounded and take these pop culture icons and sort of put them through that filter, which is cool because I think it's an approach Christopher Nolan took, and it's obviously really popular. People were in love with this Batman film. And also the fact that with James Gunn's DCU, you have the Batman Brave and the Bold film, which will probably go into the more fantastical elements. So if you're someone that's a little frustrated that a lot of Batman's more recent cinematic appearances have been all sort of grit and grind and sort of really grounded, if you're looking for something a little bit more fantastical, obviously you're going to have Batman and Brave and the Bold, which I think is much needed because as much as I love the Batman, I do think that his cinematic outings have gotten too far with being too grounded. There is a space where I think, like with Spider-Man, where you have the live action films and you have the Spider-Verse films, you have two things that can kind of go into different directions. And now those are converging because now they're both multiverse things, but I digress. So this will give fans of the more fantastical elements of Batman something where he lives in the DCU with characters like Superman, and then you have the Batman where he's the center of this universe and it's a grounded crime thriller. And for me, I think the Batman 2 has the potential to be a great sequel, just like The Dark Knight, where you can explore things that people have been waiting for in live action, like the Court of Owls. They've appeared in some series and stuff like that, but honestly, they haven't had a great adaptation from that great Scott Snyder run. So something like this, and I think if you look at the first film, there is a lot of setup, and it can sort of really dive deep into the Waynes, the Arkhams, the Elliots, what they mean, the history of Gotham, and what you think it is. And I'm excited to see the Penguin, to see how they shape the world of the Batman and Gotham, and how they set the table for what's to come. And Matt Reeves is really cooking. He has been writing this movie for quite a bit. I do hope it hits theaters October 6th, like it's been planned to. Um, but with Warner Brothers, who knows? They might be sold by the time this video goes up. So who knows? But yeah, I am excited about what Matt Reeves is bringing to this sequel and what he can explore. I do think when we see a character like Hush or Clayface or whoever else is rumored, he's gonna bring a new and fresh take. Saw with the little glimpse of Barry Keoghan's Joker, and he's obviously going to have a role because I don't see why you put him in that film and release the deleted scene if you're just gonna not put him in the second film. So you kind of have to, and I'm sure the executives will have some notes about putting the Joker in it. And if the Joker 2 does $1 billion, I for sure think the Joker is going to be in the Batman 2. So yeah. But I think it has the potential to be a sequel on the level of The Dark Knight, which is by far my favorite superhero film of all time, alongside Captain America and the Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, and there's a couple more depending on what day you ask me what my favorite superhero movie is. I'll tell you something different maybe. But The Dark Knight tends to be the one that's at the top all the time, no matter how you ask it. So hopefully he's able to ramp up that crime element. And I think the action definitely needs to be ramped up in the detective elements, which we saw in the first film. But yeah, I'm excited. I think the things that are building for the Batman 2 when 2026 rolls around is probably be one of the biggest movies of that year, and fans will definitely be there because I know Robert Pattinson's Batman. As much as people were heated about that, now they love him. Now he is Batman. So yeah, what do you think? Are you guys excited for the Batman 2? Let me know. Peace.